Hey, Get the Pen family, greetings to you. It's Janine, folks, and you have clicked on Get the Pen, and I appreciate that. If you have not subscribed already, we appreciate your subscription, your like, share, and comments. So, today I just want to briefly touch on this word perspectives. Perspectives. What is a perspective? A perspective is a point of view. It's the way you see something from where you are in the world. It's how you see something according to the way you process and the way you see things, and based on the information that you have. So, your point of view is what you see where you are in the world, and we are all in different places. That means we're all going to have different perspectives. Some of our perspectives may be similar, but just like fingerprints are individual and no two are exactly alike, the same with perspectives, because none of us is identical mentally, experientially, or otherwise. We all have some sort of variation, even those who may have been raised in the same home, the same community, trained up the same way. There is no exact when it comes to a perspective or as learning the exact same thing the exact same way with the exact same experience. We all have variations in different perspectives. And so, what we need to do is recognize that perspectives do exist, recognize that they will vary from person to person, embrace it, accept it. It doesn't mean every perspective is correct, but every perspective is real to that individual who holds that perspective. So we can all see the same thing, but from a different angle, which means we're going to have a different perspective on the same thing or the same incident, the same situation. Now, how you interpret life is shaped by your worldview. Your world is your own, and no one else sees life exactly the way you do. You are a unique individual. You see life in your own way. So try not to get frustrated when other people can't see things the way you see them. It can be frustrating, but what can you do to change it? You can't really make people see your world the way you do. We can do our best to communicate and help people understand how we're seeing something, understand our perfect perspective, and that comes through good communication and from a person who is skilled at empathy, putting themselves in another person's shoes, trying to see the world from their angle. Even though we won't get that exact view, but we can try to relate with other people based on what we think or what they have conveyed to be their perspective. And, I'm not saying we should see other perspectives, even though we may understand it, that may not make it right or acceptable. It just means that, okay, I could see that. I could see how they could think that or how they could do that. It doesn't mean you agree with it. It doesn't mean we're excusing bad behavior, but you can identify with what may have shaped their thoughts that led to a certain behavior. Our experiences, our upbringings, our environments, our genetics, our activities, our social relationships, our personalities all affect our perspective. So we're all coming from a different place. And years ago, when I was going to U of M, and I was taking a black literature class, there was a book that I read that really helped me to understand the concept of different perspectives. The name of that book was The Longest Memory by Fred Diaguiar. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But if you look up The Longest Memory, it'll come up. It was about a slave and his story, and it was told from the perspective of about 5 different people. So they all had a different story about the same incident, but they all saw it from a different point of view. And that showed me that this is how life is. You got 10 people talking about the same incident, you're going to get 10 different stories. It also happens with interpretation of a sacred text like the Bible, where you'll have 10 people read a passage, the same passage, but they'll walk away with 10 different perspectives and ideas. So we all have a different perspective. And I'm only bringing this up to encourage us to recognize that there are a variety of perspectives. That's what it is. Do we have to adopt them? No, but we should know that they exist and that that's how it is, based on the fact that we all have a different life experience. We're all seeing things from a different angle because no two people can occupy the same space. One space for one person. So I'm going to see something the way I see it. You're going to see it the way you see it. You can identify with me on some level, but it won't be exact. Just like our fingerprints aren't exact. They can be similar, which is cool, and we can try our best to be on one accord. But let's recognize that there are perspectives. I do recommend reading The Longest Memory just to illustrate how one incident can be seen in a variety of ways. This has been a Get the Pen moment, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.